And I'll tell you when to turn it off. Is it filming?
If you had the ability to distill an aspect of gaming into pure nostalgia, then this would be it right here. Console startup screens. They usually appear in the form of a quick little chime and the logo of the console, but sometimes they're a little more. You knew if you saw this purple Rubik's Cube unraveling on your TV, you were in for something good. Or, sometimes it's Fireblade. It came in a really thin DVD case. But you were excited nonetheless when you heard that xylophone go off. You couldn't get straight to the game back then like you can with modern consoles.
Where's my fucking noise?
If you wanted to play something, you had to sit back and wait until the console was done showing off. It was something to look forward to. I've always loved the startup screens for consoles, and it breaks my heart to see them go, or at least be turned into what they are today. They don't matter. We're talking about a completely inconsequential aspect of playing video games. It's like someone getting worked up about the hat that they wore while fishing. But damn it, if these aren't just the coolest fucking things. It always felt like there was a conscious effort to make these intros sound as unique as humanly possible. I have no way of proving this. I wasn't there for the board meetings, but you can see it, right? I'm not surprised that I love these as much as I do. I'm a real sucker for movie and TV show intros. There's something about a combination of sounds and visuals whose only purpose is to be on display that sends my monkey brain into overdrive. Okay. I love anything that's meant to introduce whatever it is that you're about to experience. That's why I go with the whole and the things just feel a whole lot more anticlimactic to me if you just jump right in. There was this cozy feeling that these screens wrapped you in before you got on with your game. The startup screens of today? Don't try. Now maybe there's something in favor of these fun distractions going by the wayside. God knows I can't stand long load times to save my life. But long load times get in the way of what you're already playing. All these intro screens ever asked of you was to sit back and relax while your game was getting ready. Chills. Oh hey, look, it's the buttons on the control. Oh, that last part always gets me when the TV is loud. Sony just decided to let us travel through space while we look through our memory cards, and I kind of love that. This intro screen in particular was something I was incapable of appreciating as a kid. I only had a PS1 growing up, so whenever I played a PS2, I looked down on the intro sequence. Now I loved playing the thing, but the startup sequence? Oh, how wrong I was. The original Xbox's startup was another great one for just getting you ready and in the mood for whatever you popped into the console. These two intro screens really felt like they were of their era. But how do their modern counterparts stack up to these timeless classics? Yeah, this one reeks of marketing, and this one makes me feel like I took a wrong turn into a church. Here's the thing, I think that these insignificant relics of the past kind of helped the consoles stand out from one another. I mean, it doesn't help that games back then were a little more distinct from one another. There weren't as many standards that genres followed across the board like they do now, especially when you factored in console exclusives. But these screens just really made each console feel different from one another. Now, with all of the online connectivity and fancy UIs, modern consoles tend to feel kind of samey. You knew you were playing what Nintendo don't when you heard this. Sega! I will say, the PS3 and Xbox 360 startup screens put up a pretty good fight. I always feel like I'm sneaking a peek at some kind of band rehearsal whenever I turn the PS3 on. And I'm a little biased with the 360 just because this is one of the consoles I've owned the longest. I think these things live and die by their sound design. It's so satisfying when that initial sound or music cue just brings you back. The handheld Nintendo consoles were perfect for this. The DS, the 3DS, man, and the Game Boy Advance especially. Short, sweet, and to the point. Hell, the Neo Geo screen gives me a kind of longing feeling, and I've never even played one. It reminds me of any time I found a Metal Slug cabinet at an arcade. Surprisingly enough, Nintendo's home consoles are the only real place lacking in the startup screen department. Wow. Like, yeah, the little flourish after you click A is neat, I guess, but there's no pizzazz. Same with the Wii U. I see no difference between this and this, other than a leapfrog. Oh, but Nintendo's Japan only attempted an online service on the SNES of all places, known as the Satellaview, got an intro. Cowards. The GameCube, on the other hand? God, what a rush. Should I get out more? I hate this. It lasts for the perfect amount of time and it's just so bouncy and fun, but nothing really compares to the PlayStation 1 intro. Someone at Sony got paid to travel to the future and bring back some chimes from the year 5XXX or some shit and ushered gaming into the next generation. I swear this screen is single-handedly responsible for letting games be seriously considered as art. Look it up, it's a fact. This thing is just a part of who I am. Sometimes I get asked, "Hey, Ethan, what's your favorite childhood memory?" And I respond, "Oh, that's easy. The PlayStation 1 intro," and I end up walking home. I've even made my own version of it before. I can't think of any other ways to possibly explain how much I love this thing. Look, console startups exist purely as a source of nostalgia for anyone that grew up with a console in their home. So, me. I grew up around video games. I spent a majority of my time when I was younger, and a little more time than I'd like to admit now, with my ass glued to a chair while I escaped to a whole bunch of different places that I could only dream of visiting. And yes, I did in fact write that down, and then made the decision to say it out loud. Consoles were the doorway to these fantastic places, and the bouncer, the jingle that played whenever you turned one on. I just miss these stupid little things, and some of them are just so rad. I felt the need to gush about it for, let's see what the timeline says. 7 minutes and 6 seconds. They don't matter, and they're never gonna matter, but it's an aspect of gaming that I don't hear get talked about all too much. I just wonder what the PS5 intro is gonna be like at this point.